Well, good morning, Mini Path Spiritual Center. So great to see everybody for the second Sunday in August. Got a killer service prepared for you today. So we're going to start off by singing a couple songs back to back. We're going to start off with All Is Well, and they say, My God is so good to me. Let's all stand up as we are able, and let's get started singing. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday's mistakes. Of the past today, all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved, and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well. All is well. All is well and unfolding as it should. I am cloaked in the Spirit. I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am blessed, and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well. All is well. All is well and unfolding as it should. Let me hear you say, all is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well. All is well. All is well and unfolding as it should. All is well and unfolding as it should. All is well. Woo! All right. I got up this morning singing.
God is so good.
I got up this morning singing.
God is so good.
I got up this morning singing.
God is so good.
My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah.
God is so good.
Feeling good down in my soul, yeah.
God is so good.
My God is so good to me. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. My God is so good to me. And in my time of trial, I know
God is so good.
in my time of trial, I know God is so good. In my time you're in the mood to sing today. That's great. Please be seated. You know why I like that song so much? Because it says, my God is so good to me, right? And my interpretation of my God is probably a little different than your interpretation of your God. My spiritual path is probably a little or a lot different than your spiritual path. But guess what? In the end, it's all about love, right? In the end, all of these roads lead to the same place. And guess what? That's why we're here, right? That's why you came to Mini Path Spiritual Center today, is because we are an interfaith affirming spiritual community that is here to do three things. We're here to love each other. We're here to support each other along our spiritual paths. And what's the last thing? Oh, yeah, we should learn from each other, right? Right. There is a wealth of wisdom in this room. There is a wealth of knowledge in all of the spiritual teachings that we have access to that have come to us down from thousands of years. And we study those to learn from all of those ancient traditions. And we incorporate all of that into our own spiritual paths. Reverend Deb likes to say that we are spiritual hummingbirds. We go from this flower and take of this flower and then go to the next flower and take of that, and we become a beautiful creature, right? This is how we live our lives. So welcome, everybody. We are so glad that you're here. And we've got so much going on in this spiritual community. So let's get started with some announcements, shall we? Say hi, Kat.
I learned from Ryan this week that he's a Kentucky Wildcats fan.
Yes, ma'am. I bleed blue,
Just
y'all.
leave that there. All right. The Happy Class meets every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Join us for a mindful mix of gentle movement supporting body and brain health. This week's class will feature cardio drumming, and the cost is $10. Sign up at the bulletin board in the front room to claim your happy spot. Join us for a community skate at Rivergate Skate Center today from 1 to 3. Admission is $9 plus a $4 skate rental. Even if you don't skate, come watch and enjoy the snack bar. Breathe and Be, a service of mindfulness, Thursday, August 13th at 6:30. Stillness is powerful. Stillness with others is amplified. Change starts with stillness, leading to our inner voice and cultivating spiritual harmony. We start this service with stretching, followed by guided meditation, kin-hin, which is walking, and silence. Scan the QR code to sign up. Astro Chat, Friday, August 14th at via Zoom at 6 p.m. and Sunday, August 16th in person at 1 p.m. Do you have a day chart or a night chart? How do eclipses work with your personal planets? Does your sun want to be seen but your moon wants to shy away? What things can you learn from the dance of these celestial bodies in the sky? Zoom in on Friday the 14th and then join us in person the following Sunday the 16th. To sign up, see Valerie or check out our social media or the weekly email. $5 Fun Friday All Requests Night. Cardio drumming with Steph, August 21st at 6 p.m. Sign up in the front room or text or email Steph. Sacred Satsang Circle, Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Discussion, reflection, and support with spiritual community. Please remember that classes and events require the facilitator's time and expense. If you are interested in attending, please be sure to follow any instructions for signing up or prepayment. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found in the weekly happenings email, on our Google Calendar, or you can always email the church.
Good morning, Mini Pass.
Good morning.
Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is, we honor the unique path of each person's spiritual journey. For all human beings, life is a long series of questions and a journey to find the truth for ourselves. Our spiritual path is at the very center of our lives. The more we grow in spiritual understanding, the more we can understand ourselves as human beings trying to live on this planet Earth. The more we discover ourselves through the spirit that connects all things, the more love and understanding we can show others. The more we focus on following our spiritual path, the easier it is to honor and respect others who are seeking spiritual truth, because we are all focusing on uncovering our highest and best selves. When we come together in spiritual community, we remember that even though we are all on different paths, we can rest in the knowing that we are all headed in the same direction and relish the beauty and the diversity that we share. When we recognize the oneness that lies within each of us, we prove to the world that we can truly live in harmony. And now, please repeat these affirming statements after me. I honor the path laid before me and accept the path of others. I honor the path laid before me and accept the path of others. I am curious and open to learn from others' perspectives. I'm curious and open to learn from others' perspectives. As I allow myself to have my own experience of the divine, I allow others to have theirs. As I allow myself to have my own experience of the divine, I allow others to have theirs. And so it is.
All right. Wow, that was great. We already have a theme and we didn't even plan for it, right? I love that. Well, let's sing a little bit more. This is the point in the service where we have our congregational song. This is a song that we sing, we learn together, and we sing it for a month. And who knows, we might come back to it if y'all like it a lot. If I hear, wow, that's a really good song, Ryan, we'll come back to it at some point in time. But last week we talked about the word heaven and how everybody has their own interpretation of heaven, right? Have you been thinking about that a little bit this week? I have. And I've come to think that heaven has two definitions for me. One is an earthly definition, and that is a beautiful place that makes me feel at peace. Wherever I'm at peace and I'm in the midst of beauty, that is heaven on earth for me. You know, so people talk about being in the cabin in the middle of nowhere, and then, you know, that being a little slice of heaven. The other side of that is the spiritual side of that, which is a state of mind, a state of consciousness, that heavenly state of being where all is well and unfolding as it should, right? So that's for me what I'm thinking of when I'm singing the word heaven here. But guess what? Everybody is allowed to have their own definition of that, as long as one thing remains constant between all of us, and that's that love is the center of that thought. Of wherever heaven can never be in the middle of a war, heaven can never be in the middle of the Senate. No, sorry, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No, I take that back.
We hope it can.
It's different for everyone, but the common denominator in the word heaven is that there is love at the center of it. So let's all stand up and sing "The Only Road to Travel." I am a dreamer, true believer. I'm not a preacher, and I don't pretend to be. There may be wisdom divinely given in the lessons life has taught to me. Love thy sister. Love thy brother. Look for reason in each other. Let no nation make peace through battle. There are many paths ahead. everybody. Please be seated.
That is such a beautiful song, isn't it? I like that one, Ryan.
It's a keeper.
I like that one. Let's just stay in that energy. Let's just not interrupt that energy right now. And I invite you to settle into a meditative space, to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Regulate your breathing. We regulate it by letting go of it. Perhaps a very big breath in, and then a release. Then we let it settle. We let it settle into a space where we are not so much breathing as being breathed. The Latin word from which we get spirit is just breathing. So the spiritual life is the breathing life. The life that is receiving and giving to the physical planet, to other beings, to the universe. We breathe out hell. We breathe in heaven. We breathe out suffering. We breathe in non-attachment. We breathe out that which binds us, and we breathe in freedom. We breathe out then and there. We breathe in here and now. That's all it takes. Nothing more is required. Just breathe and be right here, right now. To be here now, we have to let go of all of our thoughts. They live in the moments before and the moments after, here and now. We have to let go of all of our worries. Even our pain. Breathe out then and there. Breathe in here and now. In the silence. In the stillness. when we let go of everything and we are completely present in the here and the now, we might be pleasantly surprised to find what remains. Love, joy, peace, freedom. Their natural home is in this now moment, not something we're looking forward to, not something we once got to do, but right now, always right now. And so it is.
Surely the presence of love is in its place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. And I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see love on every face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see peace on every face. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. Surely the presence of joy is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see joy on every face. Surely the presence of joy is in this place. Surely the presence of joy is in this place.
Lord have mercy. That's what I think of when I hear that song, Lord have mercy. Anybody else get a little, like triggered by that song? It's like, they're going to talk about Jesus. Oh my God. We can talk about Jesus, Yeshua. And what's that? What are you talking about? Joy and love, Jove. Surely the presence of Jove is in this place. Welcome, y'all. I'm so happy to have the Peanut Gallery here and everyone else. Welcome. If you've shown up today, know that I just need you to not freak out, because I mean, this talk is going to be a little bit different than a lot of talks I've ever done. So just breathe through it, okay? Just breathe. Live the breathing life, the spirited life. So we are in the 6th moon of the year of the fire horse The moon is waning crescent at 17%. It will be new this Wednesday, August 12th. Let me just tell you something about this August 12th. Y'all better come to Astro Chat next week just to talk about August 12th, because August 12th is the new moon at 12:36 our time, and then a total solar eclipse 11 minutes later, right? We won't see the total solar eclipse. It's happening over in, I don't know, Egypt or somewhere, Europe. Okay. But we'll still feel it. So if you believe that or not, doesn't matter. Many paths. Hey. Um, but this new moon will end our quarter where we've been talking about practice, spiritual practice. And next week begins our quarter of being in the thick of it. Next week, we're going to begin a season of talking about the passion, action, and intentional momentum, and those becoming a lived reality. Taking bold and aligned action, which is really, really perfect in an election season, isn't it? Got lots of energy up. So we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of what is going on. And so I was trying to think about what would be the perfect segue between practice and living in the middle of it. And I don't know if I found it or not, but this is what we came up with. Is that on? No. Let me turn it on, Crystal. There we go. This one's for the atheists. Okay, everybody's good? Nobody left yet? All right, great. This one's for the atheists and the agnostics among us, right? Agnostic, really more likely, atheism is kind of the fundamentalism of agnosticism, right? Atheism is the I'm certain about something. I know there is no God. Agnosticism is I don't know. I don't know enough to know, right? Wisest people on our planet get to the point where I don't know is the answer. I have a good friend named David Smith who is an Episcopal priest. And every year on the Sunday closest to Darwin's birthday, he does Darwin Sunday. And he preaches a sermon showing appreciation for the wisdom that Darwin brought to us. Darwin once wrote or said, "The mystery of the beginning of all things is insoluble, unsolvable, insoluble by us, and I, for one, must be content to remain an agnostic." And so I deal with this a lot. So let's put it all out on the table right here, and let's deal with some things a lot of us were raised with. Invariably, at the college, if I ever have the topic of evolution come up in a classroom, I'll have some student who blurts out, because we needed to hear this, because we've never heard it before, "I didn't come from no monkey," right? That's what they'll blurt out. And of course, I respond. My response is usually, well, we're on the grounds of the academy. And on the grounds of the academy, we trust the scientist for the science. And science never said that you come from a monkey. Science said that you and the monkey have a common ancestor. Just like how a chihuahua and a wolf have a common ancestor. Right? Very different, but they have a common ancestor. And so we go with that because that's the best we know. And I always tell my students, I'm not trying to mess with what you believe. Believe what you believe, right? Believe whatever you believe, but I'm going to go on the grounds of the academy. I'm going to go with the scientist. I've met people and I have friends who believe that the earth is 6,000 years old. Now, pardon me? Flat. Well, that too, who believe that the earth is 6,000 years old because they're taking the book of Genesis literally. I'm just going to say this. If you believe that, that's fine. Trust, I'm not here to rain on anybody's parade. I am here to say, however, just in a very flat way, let me just talk like this, that we have ample evidence that that is not true. So much evidence that a scientist would go, I don't even have time to argue this point, right? Because we have so much. And the only evidence we have that it is true is what the writers of Genesis wrote down when they were creating the story, the history of the Jewish people. There are folks who believe that the ark and the flood, that there was a boat that could carry two of all creatures on the planet. You couldn't build a boat that large. We didn't know back then how many creatures there were on the planet. And every single culture has a flood story. It's a common thing. It's a common part of the human mythos, right? Some people believe that Moses parted the Red Sea. Others go, not sure how that could happen. What's the most likely scenario? The Avengers. The Avengers did it. The Avengers did it. Some people believe in the talking snake. That's fine. That's all good. It's fine, whatever. So hold on. I feel like the air's been sucked out of the room. So everybody just breathe. Okay, just breathe. I follow this guy on social media, and he has a podcast too, and it's called Reasoned Reality. Very good. He was raised in the Christian faith. He's become agnostic, but he does this from a place of compassion. He said, look, when people tell me that they believe XYZ, I used to believe XYZ, so I can feel compassion about that. I understand why people believe that. I just don't know anymore, right? And he has a very good podcast. And the other day, he put up something on social media that said this. This even got me. It got me. It said, Abraham never existed. And I went, oh, now, buddy, wait up. Just wait up. And here's the argument that was made here. He said, first off, it talks about Abraham trading camels. But camels were not domesticated in that region until about 1,000 years later, right? And then it talks about how Abraham went into treaties with the Philistine kings in the area. There were no Philistines in Canaan until centuries later. And then it talks about how his hometown is Ur of the Chaldeans. Ur of the Chaldeans is a way of saying, that's the way you would have said it 1,000 or so years later. It's like saying Jesus lived in Rome, Italy, right? Italy didn't exist back then, right? And so, and for what it is, he argues, he says there's no record of Abraham. We have no record of a birthplace, where he would have died, anything like that. He said, here's the thing. Every single culture, it was common for a culture to create a story about a founding father. Rome had Romulus, right? And so the Jews came along and had Abraham. I'm not going to say yes or no. That's up to you. I'm not here to rock your boat on Abraham. But consider this. Consider the possibility that this dude who never existed, who gave birth to 3 of the most prominent world religions, the vast majority of the world follows a religion that came from him. And what if? Just what if? It's okay. You're not denying God to what if. You can what if. So this sometimes feels a little scary when we what if. And what happens when things feel scary is we often run back to faith. When things feel scary, we say something like, I'm either going to argue with you because I can't stand for what you're saying to be a possibility, or I'm going to go back and I don't want to hear it. La, 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 right? And so because of that, running away from the fear of something that we believed all of our lives may not be true, we run back into faith. And because of that, we've long seen this continuum, that on one end is faith and on the other end is fear. We're taught this. Some great spiritual teachers have said this, but I'm not sure this is true. We see it as opposite because when we feel fear, we run to faith. But the truth is, I've felt great fear when exercising my faith. That's when I feel the most fear sometimes. I would suggest that fear and doubt are actually kissing cousins with faith. They walk hand in hand. I suggest that the continuum might look more like this. That the opposite of faith is certainty. That instead of feeling a certain trust, we want some proof of something. We want to be able to prove it. And if you try to disprove it, there is no Abraham. I don't want to hear it because I've got the proof I need. And sometimes the proof boils down to, I've heard this my whole life and I can't stand to change that core belief, right? Instead of openness, we have a kind of closed off. I don't want to hear it. I am certain of something. I don't want to entertain any other possibilities. Instead of connection, we have correction. How many times has a fundamentalist religious person tried to correct you on something? I've been corrected many, many times. As a matter of fact, when we were singing, what is it? All is well. All is well. Divine Spirit is directing me. I'm back there going, Divine Spirit is correcting me right now. And I'm like, you can take the girl out of the Nazarene church, but you can't take the Nazarene church out of the girl, right? I suggest that faith actually requires an inner atheist. Have you ever had days where you're just a little bit atheist? Just a little bit agnostic? Atheist light, agnostic. Or Episcopal. It works either. Never mind. All right. So here's the thing. When we start to question, is what I'm facing actually true? Is it actually true that a snake talked in Eden? I'm going to suggest to you right now, by the way, that even things that are not actually true still have great power. Great power, right? So let's establish that right from the beginning. But if I'm diving deep into something I want to be able to say, I know, right? Is this actually true? How do I know it's actually true? Am I experiencing something or merely believing what I've been told? Am I actually having a unique experience, or is that something that has I've been raised in that culture and that's what I'm falling in line? Because the inner atheist is what keeps spirituality honest, right? Sometimes if I meet someone who says they're atheist or agnostic, most of the time I go, cool, okay, cool. What can you teach me? But sometimes I'll say, if I'm feeling like engaging, 8% of the time I feel like engaging. And so sometimes they'll say, I don't believe in God. And I'll say, ooh, tell me about the God you don't believe in. And then when they tell me about that God, most of the time I'm able to say, oh, I don't believe in that God either. Yeah. So I guess I'm right in line with you. Byron Katie has 4 questions that feel a lot like this if you've ever looked into the work with Byron Katie. I want to suggest that faith without doubt is missing a vital structural component. That if we have faith with no skepticism, no doubt, no questioning, the weakest faith in my book is the faith that is not allowed to be questioned, right? And it puts us in some really great company. There have been a whole lot of spiritual teachers who've known seasons of doubt. In fact, the most well-known spiritual teachers are the ones who've experienced doubt. I don't know, I'm not sure I know of any really well-known spiritual teachers who can say, I've never doubted. Not one time have I ever doubted. Mother Teresa, after she died, they found her private journals, and they discovered that she had over 50 years of what she described as a profound spiritual dryness, where she felt abandoned by God. The lesson in Mother Teresa is that she kept doing the work. She just kept doing the work. Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, doubted everything before enlightenment. Doubted his own reality, and Buddhism began in sacred skepticism. Buddhism is still a great place for a lot of folks who claim agnosticism or atheism, because you don't need a deity in Buddhism, right? It's just a philosophy. Ramana Maharshi, the godfather of Advaita Vedanta and the modern idea of self-inquiry, his was a relentless inquiry, right? Relentless questioning, where he's able to say, who is it? Who is the one who believes, right? Who is the one who believes? J. Krishnamurti rejected being called a spiritual teacher. He said, you don't need a spiritual teacher. Observe for yourself. Be your own guru. Thomas Merton, the Catholic monk from Gethsemane Abbey right up the road in Kentucky, he repeatedly expressed doubts. He didn't know where he was headed spiritually. St. John of the Cross from the 16th century is the one who gave us the phrase dark night of the soul, where he had a collapse of certainty. Simone Weil was attracted to Christianity. She's a 20th century French philosopher whom I highly recommend reading more of her stuff. She was attracted to Christianity, but she refused to have any kind of belonging. She said, "An atheist may be simply one whose faith and love are concentrated on the impersonal aspects of God." God not as a being, as a person that we've created, but God as nature, as the science, as the world around us, right? C.S. Lewis, who wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and he would probably consider that one of the least important things that he wrote. He's a famous Christian apologist, and after his wife died, he wrote about doubt and suffering and grief and where God was in all of that. The writers of the Psalms are basically broken down into two parts. Part of it is going, "Yay, God," and the other part is going, "Where are you?" Right? Where are you? Why aren't you here? The Dalai Lama once said that if scientific evidence disproved a Buddhist belief, Buddhism should change. Alan Watts' entire philosophy encourages letting go of certainty. Richard Rohr, another one of my favorite Christian writers, he said that the opposite of faith is not doubt, the opposite of faith is control, right? Which that sounds a whole lot like certainty to me. And then there's our friend Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth, who questioned everything that the modern spiritual leaders of that day were talking about. He argued, he wrestled. Did Jesus actually, I'm just hang with me here. It's okay if you believe. Did Jesus actually meet Satan in the desert and have a long conversation with him for 40 days? Or could it be possible that he wrestled with his own demons for 40 days? That he tried to work through his own ego stuff. Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to avoid pain? Right? Just a possibility. I don't know. Which one is more likely? I don't know. Up to you. Come up with what. And then on the cross, why have you forsaken me? The ultimate doubt. You've completely abandoned me, God. And so religion sometimes says, here is the answer. It often says that. It did for me when I was growing up in religion. Science says, here's our best answer so far. And mysticism says, eventually the question becomes larger than the answer. And so my thesis for today is mysticism is closer to science than to religion. Mysticism is closer to science than to religion. Mysticism can be defined as the belief that direct knowledge of God, spiritual truth, or ultimate reality can be obtained through subjective experience, my own intuition, my own insight. That ultimate reality thing, the Hindus and the Buddhists speak in that language all the time. They talk about the ultimate reality. The Toltec wisdom of Don Miguel Ruiz, the Four Agreements, talks about how this is all a dream we're living in. We're seeking the ultimate reality. Isn't that what scientists are seeking? The ultimate reality. And science teaches us to question our assumptions. Thank you, science. So let's hear from some scientists who have questioned those assumptions. Probably the patron saint of this talk today, our good friend Albert Einstein, who said the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. That sounds like a mystic. Sounds like something indescribable. By the way, mystery and mystic come from the same root word, and that root word means closed, right? Or hidden. The mystery is closed to us, it's hidden to us. And so that we're just going to be open to that. We're going to allow that to be, right? If you've ever had a really great spiritual experience, like maybe you've been meditating and you levitated off the cushion, or you got saved and sanctified at church camp in 1978, or something like that. If you ever had a great religious experience and then someone says, "Oh, what was it like?" I don't know. What happened? I don't know. How are you different? I don't know. Can I do that? I don't know. Right? But it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful, but I don't know anything about it. The astronomer Carl Sagan said, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. The only difference I would make there as a mystic is that everywhere, everything incredible is waiting to be known. Not just somewhere. It makes sense that he would think about it cosmologically, looking out at the grand universe that is so vast that we can't even grasp it with our mind, right? And this sense that somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known, will we know it in this life? I don't know. Will we understand it after death? I don't know. I can believe. I can believe that. I can hold that for myself. But I don't know. It's this sense that keeps us on the path and keeps us going. Something that compels us. What is this something that compels us? I don't know. Nikola Tesla, before he was commandeered for marketing purposes for a really ugly truck. He was actually a genius in terms of electricity. And he said, what one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics, right? When music moves you, is it God or the chord progression? When you notice things working together, is it synchronicity or a happy coincidence? Now, for those of you who've been raised in the spiritual muck that I've been come up through, who are automatically wanting to say, there's no such thing as coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. Bless you. Thank you for that, actually, because that's a perfect segue. For those of you who say, I don't believe in coincidence, all it means is two things happen at the same time. That's all it means. She sneezed. We said, bless you. Coincidence. It's a coincidental thing. Every car I passed on the way here, coincidence, coincidence, coincidence. What we don't believe in, maybe, is that those things are purposeless. We can believe that when things happen at the same time, that there was perhaps some spiritual energy that helped to direct that. So, is it just synchronicity? Is it just a happy coincidence? Is it spirit or is it dopamine? Do I sense presence, or is this just the gift my brain gives me when I let it rest? I don't know. Tesla once met Swami Vivekananda, who was one of the early Hindu teachers who brought Hinduism to the West. And they both immediately gravitated toward one another. They both reached for each other. Tesla ended up spending the rest of his life studying Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. He studied the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, all of Eastern Hindu religion. And Swami Vivekananda was interested in knowing where scientific understanding of energy supported the yoga he was teaching. If you've ever listened to Sadhguru at all, the current modern Hindu guru who's probably the most well-known, he constantly talks about yoga is a science. This is a science I'm teaching you. This has grounding, right? So all of these scientists understand that there is something mysterious that is bigger than them. The scientist begins the journey by thinking, I'll figure this out. The mystic begins by thinking, I'll find God. And years later, both of them usually arrive at a much humbler place. The mystery is larger than I imagined. If you want to find out who the smartest person on a college campus is, find the professor. Well, it might not be a professor. It might be someone in the janitorial service. Find the person on that college campus who says, I don't know the most. True wisdom is reaching the point, I don't know. The smarter I get, the less I know, right? The less I know. And so this becomes the truth here. The mystery is larger than I imagined, and it's something that the scientist and the mystic have in common. Both are left with more questions than answers. Both are often left with nothing more than, we don't know. I don't know. And perhaps what we need to do is let I don't know shift from meaning I lack understanding, right? Sometimes we think I don't know means I'm stupid, so we hesitate to say it. If we let it shift from I lack understanding to what if your I don't know means the possibilities are endless, right? The possibilities are so endless that I can't land on one of them right now. We often think about the spiritual journey as this very, very aligned, pretty little path that leads from belief to a stronger belief to the strongest belief to enlightenment. Obviously, the more I learn, I'm just going to believe more and believe more. In the same way that academically we think the more I learn, I'm going to know more. I'm going to know more, right? But honestly, it's more like this. We start from a kind of belief, we have an experience, we experience some doubt, we question, we go through a season of unknowing, then maybe we have a discovery, then we doubt again. And what's the end goal? The end goal is more openness. Because the more that I work with that and allow it to be and live with the mystery, the more I'm just open. I'm open to loving all people no matter what they believe, right? Because it's complicated. I'm more open to just being of service to others, to acting from compassion, right? Perhaps the best we can hope for is a more supple heart, one that lets go of certainty and lets itself live in the mystery. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the first lines from the Tao. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Tao, of course, just means the way, the spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. The Tao, the it, the unknown. I don't know. Let's just call it the Tao, right? The Tao that can be told, we can put an equal sign, and on the other side, certainty. The Tao that can be told is a Tao that someone is certain of. I can tell you about this. The name that can be named is certainty. There's a name and I know it, right? And so the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Could be translated as this: certainty is not the eternal way. Certainty is not the eternal name, right? He doesn't tell us what the eternal Tao is. He just says the Tao that can be told, that which can be expressed, is not the eternal Tao. The I don't know is the eternal Tao. The I don't know, right? Shunryo Suzuki said that in the beginner's mind, there are many options. In the expert's mind, there are few. And what mysticism and science does is it takes us beyond expert's mind, right? Expert mind is the mind that says, I've got this all figured out. I'm the one who has the answers, right? And we go back, as they teach in Buddhism, we go back to beginner's mind again and again and again. When life gets complicated, we relax back into the I don't know, where faith lives. We've been talking about practice for 3 months. The reason why this is important, having something that you do, something that constantly reminds you on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, however often you need, I am one with God, right? The Spirit of the Divine lives within me. I can have peace, joy, and love right now because it exists in this moment, in my being. And the reason why we practice is because that's how we make ourselves available to the great mystery and how we train ourselves to remain in a state of readiness and trust. You know, when I was first beginning my deconstruction journey, I think I was like 22, something like that. I had my first apartment by myself in Nashville. And which always reminds me when you talk about all roads, love being all roads. Y'all, anybody else old enough to remember that little ditty? All roads lead to Nashville, Music City, USA. Yeah, all right. Just wanted to see if anybody else was as old as I was in here. But at any rate, I was about 22. I had my first little apartment. It had a little balcony on it. And I remember one night, I distinctly remember one night, I'd gone off to a Christian school. I left that. I was kind of like, I'd spent about 2 years not thinking about God or Jesus or anybody else that had anything to do with spirituality. I just kind of cleaned the slate. And then I stood out on that balcony one night and I looked up at the stars because I still thought maybe God lived up there, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. It's all I knew. I don't know. And I looked up at the stars and I said, listen, here's the deal. Because that's the way my best prayers always start. Listen, here's the deal. I have no idea if you exist, but I'm going to retain just enough faith that if you do, you'll show yourself to me. But you'll have to show yourself to me. That's the faith I'm going to hold on to. And then what began was 45 years of a beautiful journey. 45? I'm not that old. 40 years of a beautiful journey. Right? A very beautiful journey. And that journey has brought me to this place. I want to tell you what I believe. Here is what I believe. You don't have to believe it. I believe that the sacred is a presence that lives in everything, including me, including you. I believe that that presence is always available and accessed by simply acknowledging it. I believe this presence can be called by many names: Spirit, God, Allah, Buddha nature, Christ nature, Shiva, the Great Spirit, the universe. I believe that the best I can do for others is to point to that presence. I believe that many spiritual teachers have pointed to that presence. Yeshua, Buddha, Muhammad. How do I know this? I don't know. I trust, I exercise the faith of abandoning assumptions, and I let go and flow with the river. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you. Namaste.
A lot of church services going on today. I wonder how many had a lesson that was even in the ballpark that we just heard. So I'm super grateful for Mini Path Spiritual Center. Super grateful for the opportunity that we all have to come together every Sunday and, first of all, experience each other, right? I need my hit every week of you guys. But beyond that, these lessons that Reverend Deb teaches us every week are awesome and inspiring. It definitely keeps me going throughout the week. Very grateful for that. So let's sing I Am Grateful. I am grateful for another day of living. Grateful for a new chance to forgive. Grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. I am grateful for another day of living. I am grateful for a new chance to forgive. Grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Yes, I'm grateful for the love I have to give. All right, we're going to practice now. All right? We're going to practice signing up for a class. All right? Should I stand up for this? Let me stand up. All right. see me? All right. We've got this new thing called signing up for classes, and I want to practice on how to do this. Everybody take your finger like this. Okay. Do this, right? Like just, can you do that? And then here's the hard part. Do that. Do it again. This is called scrolling on your phone. This is called tapping, okay? So, one way to do this, I got all kinds of easy ways to do this. One way to do this to go, Google minipastspiritualcenter.org. Boom. You go scroll to the bottom of the page, click on the calendar, scroll to whatever event you want to attend, tap the slide, and a form will just pop up, fill it out, send it, you're done. We have the technology. Yes. So, on that note, I'll remind you all the cool stuff we got coming up. If you need to sign up for a class, some things don't need to be signed up for, but if you do, now you know how. I'll remind everybody that blue vase right there on your way out the door that says Love Offering is where you put your paper donations. The QR code there will take you to either PayPal or Venmo if you want to give that way. Everything that we do is supported by you. So we encourage you to come to our classes and give freely. We have our parking lot. That was supposed to be in the...
Yeah, it was supposed to be in the announcement.
Supposed to be in the announcements today. I shall make the announcement now. We are raising funds to repave our parking lot. And what we are asking everybody to do is give an additional minimum of $25 a month over the next 3 months. So a total of $75 over a 3-month period. I think we can all handle that. Obviously, you are welcome to give more if you feel so inclined, and that would help us get our goal quicker. But our goal is to have that parking lot paid by sometime in November before the cold weather hits. And you guys, we're going to do this thing. We're going to do it. So thank you so much for giving. Thank you so much for attending classes and for everything that you do for your spiritual community. We appreciate you. All right, let's all stand up together as we prepare to leave and take on the week. Daphne's going to lead us in our Apache blessing.
Okay. May the sun bring us new energy by day, and may the moon softly restore us by night. May the rain wash away our every worry, and may the breeze blow new strength into our being. May we walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of our lives. And so it is.
And all is well.
All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. All is well, life is good. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed. We are truly blessed.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a